Hello, what up, my people? Welcome back to my channel once again. So, my previous video, I promised that, my previous video actually marks um, the 1 year milestone for me that I started documenting my trade recap on this particular channel. But along the line, I promised myself that that particular video was the last video I would do to actually document my trade. But trust me, I've been so used to documenting my trades every week, and today makes it 2 consecutive weeks that I've not documented my trade, and it feels off. It feels off, trust me, and I decided I was going to continue. And trust me, this actually also taught me a big lesson that if you keep consistency on everything you do, along the line it's going to feel effortlessly. It's going to feel as if it is nothing. I remember when I first started this documenting of my trade around February, it was so hard for me. It was so time taking, exhausting. Trust me, it was literally everything. I felt so down. That is this what I'll be doing every week? But along the line, I kept doing it every day, day by day, every week, week by week, every week, week by week. Sometimes I document it on Saturday, sometimes I document it on Sunday. And trust me, last week was a hell for me because I decided not to document the trade. I felt down. I felt, what am I doing with my life? But trust me, I had a lot of things to do. But because I was so used to that energy of documenting my trade and rewatching and going through all those trades, it gives me some kind of instant gratification. Would I call it some kind of energetic push to get ready for the next week? And I decided that this week I'm going to document 2 weeks of my trades, both for last week and this week that just passed. And I'm going to be documenting my trades on gold. So without further ado, let's go right straight into the screen. So coming into that gold on November 10th, 2025, that's Monday. That very Monday, I didn't take any trade due to some commitments that I had that Monday. I wasn't on seats, so I had to just forfeit the trades for Monday. And that very Monday, I marked some key levels, but I wasn't able to take the trade. I was just looking at it and I didn't take any trade. So fast forward to Tuesday. So after getting all this market structure, what I was intending of was, I was on a 30 minutes time frame, and this particular screen is a 30 minutes time frame. Now this particular trade, I use MSnR, that's Malaysian support and resistance, to catch this particular trade. Now, wow! As we all know, in immediate buy and immediate sell gives us an A shape. And if we go to the line charts, can you see it is an A shape? And when I saw this A shape, I saw this particular candle did not mitigate. This candle did not mitigate this particular resistance. We had a nice push also, did not mitigate the resistance. What I was waiting for was, so this now stands as a liquidity for us. This now stands as liquidity, and this also stands as liquidity, but I will call this, they are all liquidities. So I know that a lot of sellers are lying above this particular level here. While you're seeing it very tight, it's because I'm using Onanda broker. If it is on probably Saxo, you're going to see the tap very clear. So after I saw all of this as my confluence, I kept my sell limit at the top here, and my stop loss was above this particular line here. And immediately the market came, played around, and tapped us in. Now these are things I used to look out for. This one is a quick scalp, but I didn't really take the trade. I just anticipated because I was expecting that after I take out this OC, probably I'm going to see a rundown to this particular level, and that was what happened. But I didn't even take the scalp. I just anticipated, and it happened that way. So one of my second rule is that before I get to my support, I want to see a lot of consolidation. I want to see a lot of consolidation. This gives me another possibility that all of this consolidation, not tapping into this resistance, give me an assurance that I am going to get tapped into this market and we're going to see a nice fall. And that was what happened. And that very day, this market tapped us in at around 1:30 p.m. That's New York session. Yeah, that's New York session. Let's see the session. Can you see? That's New York session. And it tapped us in and gave us a nice 8:1 RR. So after this particular trade, on the 1 hour time frame, this particular level is a resistance becoming a support, RVS. And on the 15 minutes time frame, it is an order block. This is what I do. I look at my higher time frame and also look at my lower time frame if they correlate. And along the line, 15 minutes gives me an order block and 1 hour gave me a resistance become support. So let's go to the 1 hour to confirm why I marked that as my key level. Where are you? Okay, so this is it here. This is it here. As an MSnR trader or as an Al-Chemist trader, if you see this kind of support on the 1 hour time frame, this is actually a resistance. After the market broke the resistance, it becomes a support. That's why we call it RBS. Resistance becomes support. And if you look at it on the 15 minutes time frame, you will see that it is an order block. After getting this, let's go to the 15 minutes time frame. Now let's see how it is an order block on the 15 minutes time frame. Can you see what I'm saying? On the 15 minutes time frame here, it is an order block, and this is the order block here. Now what gives us a good chance that this is an order block, or what gives us a good confirmation that this order block is going to hold? Because it has a nice displacement, has a first pullback that did not mitigate the order block, and boom. So it correlated with both my 1 hour time frame with resistance becomes support and my 15 minutes time frame order block. And that was how I knew that the market was going to turn back here. But I didn't enter the market because I've already caught this nice trade, and this is around 3:30 p.m. and trust me, I don't enter trade around 3:30 p.m. I only hold trades to around 4 p.m. Yes, then I exit my trades. So that was what happened for Tuesday, and we caught a nice 8:1 RR. After that, I was supposed to catch this for midnight, but I wasn't on seat. So it happens that the market played out very well on Asian session and it went smoothly. So now we're going back to the 30 minutes time frame. Going back to the 30 minutes time frame. How did we catch this trade? How did we catch this trade? Now the reason why we catch this trade are of two confluence. Still on Malaysian resistance, support and resistance, MSnR or Al-Chemist, anything you call it. Now, I have two levels I was looking at. My first level was this particular level because I had a mitigation here that did not tap into this particular support. Yes, it did not tap into the support. So I was looking at this, and I was also looking at this particular support also. It is a support because it gave me a formation of a support, but this particular candle would serve as my inducement. I need you to understand this. This particular candle will serve as my inducement. Why is it my inducement? The first pullback that came did not mitigate this particular support, so it gave me an assurance that if this particular candle, if this particular level did not hold, I will be taking this next level. And long behold, the market actually respected this level and gave us a nice 10:1 RR. My plan was that if it gets to this level, that means the trade is violated, and I take my loss and I get ready for this next entry. And the market came, respected our levels, and started giving us a straight 10:1 RR. I was supposed to hold to this particular level here because this is my psychological level, but I exited early because I wanted to actually step out, and I closed that trade. And that was what happened on Wednesday, and we caught this nice 10:1 RR. The market tapped us in around 1 p.m. New York session on Wednesday, and after that we didn't take any other trade. Going to Thursday, this is Thursday 13th November 2025. This is the upper week because this is the second week that I didn't do my trade recap, so I'm joining the 2 weeks together to do this recap all together. So now this particular second trade, I used breakouts. Now, how did I use this breakout? I remember it is on the 3 minutes time frame. Now, if you really want to learn how to use breakout strategy, the time frame I would advise is the 3 minutes time frame. The 3 minutes time frame most of the time correlates with the 5 minutes time frame. But when you use the 3 minutes time frame, before the 5 minutes actually comes back to retest that level, the 3 minutes would have retested it and started moving already before the 5 minutes would actually correlate. So I advise, if you want to test this breakout strategy, use the 3 minutes time frame. Now, this is what happened here. This is the first level I marked. This is my resistance. This is my support, and this is my resistance. The market came first, tapped us in. The market came first, broke out with impulsive move. Why I didn't enter this trade immediately was because of this particular week here. I was having 2 levels, one here, one here. My mind was that if this market breaks with impulsive movement and holds on with maybe the body candle at this point, yes, I will wait for the retest and take it. But the market trapped a lot of people because some people would use the body candle, and I didn't actually wait for the body candle. I only used the wick and the body candle, 2 options. So when the market came back and took some people out that took that breakout strategy, and it started going that way again, and also still came back and retest the support. Now, after all of this, I knew there was a lot of manipulation. So what I waited for was the New York session, and where I was waiting for to break was this particular level here. This level here. I was waiting for this level to break, and when I saw the break of this level, together with the session, that's the New York session. Let's bring the session indicators out. Can you see? Together with the New York session, I knew the market was going to hold on and take this market probably to this next resistance level, and that was what happened. So what I did was that after the break, I waited for a retest, and it came back, retested the market. After I retested, I entered the market, and it gave me a nice 5:1 RR on the 3 minutes time frame. This is the strategy I used, breakout strategy. I didn't use either liquidity sweep or no. But if I wanted to use liquidity sweep, I would have waited for this because it swept this liquidity and started moving immediately. Can you see? Swept this liquidity. Let me use this same line. Can you see? Came, swept this liquidity and started moving straight to the next psychological level. If I also wanted to use this psychological level also, I will wait that after it broke this psychological level, I will wait for a retest. But it didn't even break it as expected. So I waited for this next zone to be broken very well before I take the next trade. And that was how I caught this particular trade on Thursday. Was it on Tuesday? Yeah, on Tuesday, but this wasn't the trade I was supposed to explain. But that was what happened also there. That was what happened there too. Because it is a break and retest. Okay, so this is the level I was talking about here. This is where we stopped the last time. Sorry, this is where we stopped. I used the break and retest strategy here too. After I saw the break of this level at around 7:57 a.m. This is London session. Let's turn the session candle on. This is 13th November 2025. Sorry, that particular trade was also a break and retest. That's a breakout strategy, but that's not where we stopped. So after I saw the break of this level together with session, that's London session, I entered the trade immediately. So it broke with this particular psychological level. Can you see? It broke with this impulsive move. After I saw that the retest on the 3 minutes time frame, that was how I entered this trade and caught a nice 4:1 RR. So after that, I was also looking at this level and this particular level here. The market came, manipulated some people for a sell here. I didn't enter. I waited for this particular buys based on New York session also. Gave me a little bit profit and came back to took me out on break even. So that was how I traded that very Thursday, and I caught a nice 4:1 RR and lost a 1% on this particular trade. And that was how Thursday went off. And let's go back to the 5 minutes time frame. The 5 minutes time frame. So after this particular loss here, let me take this session out. This was where we stopped. After this particular loss here on Thursday, Friday was a little bit choppy, but I managed to catch a nice trade based on session also. But this particular trade was a fair value gap trade on the 5 minutes time frame. Now, why did I take this trade? I was waiting for a break of this level. And when the market came, it broke this level, and I was looking for an entry point. My confirmation was this particular hammer candle on the 5 minutes time frame. That was my confirmation. And immediately I saw this hammer candle closed above here, I entered immediately, and it also gave me a nice 4:1 RR. It is a 5:1 RR if you look at, but because of my large stop loss, let's just leave it as a 4:1 RR. Because Fridays I don't really trade, I don't hold trade for a long time on Fridays, and that was how I traded on Friday. So this was the trade I was explaining on Tuesday. For this particular Monday here, I didn't take any trade on Monday. Monday was very choppy, and as you can see, it is choppy. Can you see? It is choppy. So I didn't trade on Monday. That's 17th of November 2025. I traded on Tuesday only. Now, why did I trade this particular level? Breakout strategy. That was what I was explaining the other time. Breakout strategy. Can you see it on the 5 minutes time frame? It gave us a nice breakout strategy. After it broke out with the wick, but on the 3 minutes time frame, it broke out with the body candle. After it broke out with the wick, for coming back for the retest, I entered immediately, and it gave me a nice 5:1 RR. So coming back to Wednesday, I think we'll be going to the 30 minutes time frame for this Wednesday trade. This Wednesday trade, not the 3 minutes, 30 minutes. Now, on the 30 minutes time frame, why I entered this trade was a support becoming a resistance becoming a support. Can you see? RBS. RBS, resistance becoming support. Can you see this level? This is a support level and this is a resistance level. Why did I call this a resistance level? We have candles that did not tap into it. Those are my liquidity. This candle also came, did not also tap into it. But when the next candle came, for people that use sell limit or buy limits, it would have taken them out. But that very day, I didn't use sell limit or buy limit. I waited for confirmation. And when I saw the break of this particular resistance, I knew that the market was going to come and test the support to move back bullish. And that was what happened. I waited for a confirmation. I was waiting that if this particular market closes, if this particular candle closes above this particular liquidity, I would enter the trade. And that was what happened. The market closes above. After it closed above, I went back to the 15 minutes time frame for confirmation. My confirmation was on this particular level. After I saw the break closing with this particular candle, I knew it was going to come back to retest this particular level. This is where I entered the trade from. This particular level. This is my entry point, and immediately I entered, the market started moving my way, and it gave us a 5:1 RR. That was how I entered this particular trade. So going to the next trade, that was this was on Wednesday trade, and on Thursday was very awesome. Thursday was nice, but let's go to the 30 minutes time frame first, because those are where I analyzed all these trades and caught them. Now on Thursday, I was looking at this level on the 30 minutes time frame. This was the level I was looking at. I was looking at this level coming to be tapped, and when I saw the tap of this level, I didn't enter immediately. It took a lot of people out. A lot of people would have been looking at this level. And now, why did I look at this level? If you look at all these particular places, all these places are liquidities lying above this particular support here. They are all liquidities. So I knew that a lot of buyers will be resting here, and the market will want to trigger a lot of people into the market. It will want to trigger people. This is based on experience. It will want to trigger people. Now, after it trigger people, what I was waiting for was a creation of another support inside the support. You see, the market moves based on the kind of order it sees. If there is a place it sees orders, it is going to come, tap people in, take them out, started moving to that particular zone, and still create another support that will come and tag the patient ones. Now, if the market did not come back to this level, I wasn't going to take any trade that very day. But because I'm using also the 30 minutes time frame, the higher time frame, what I was looking at is, had it been this candle came and tapped into this level, I won't use a buy limit. I will wait for market execution. But I saw this candle coming in and going back. So this is already my inducement. This is my liquidity. So it tallies with all my rules. And when the market came, took out the liquidity, and I was on the buy limit already. This is what makes me use buy limit. If I don't see inducement, liquidity, and if I don't see a clear information that this market is going to go my way, I won't use a buy limit. I will use market execution. And my confirmation to this trade was that if this particular candle, if it doesn't close above this particular level, I will take the small profit I have. That was my plan. If the market did not close above this particular level, I will take the small profit it gave me. And that was what happened. The moment I saw the close of this particular candle here, I held on to the trade to this particular next psychological level. And trust me, the moment it got to this particular psychological level, I exited. And it gave me a nice 5:1 RR. It is supposed to be a 6:1 RR because of my stop loss. Let's just call it a 6:1 RR. This is on the 30 minutes time frame. I didn't even go to the 15 minutes time frame because I saw a clear setup. Now, after the break of that level, that same Friday, that's 21st of November, that same Friday, this is also supposed to be a resistance. Can you see? This is also supposed to be a resistance because it has an inducement. First pullback. Can you see the first pullback? First pullback for this particular inducement did not tap in. Came back, did not tap in. You see, the market repeats itself all the time. But you have to have that eyes and you have to stick to a higher time frame to give you all this confluence. Now, this is a resistance. This resistance became a support. Why did it become a support? Because it broke this particular level of support. It broke the level. After it broke the level, what am I also looking at? I'm looking at an inducement. This particular candle came, did not tap into this particular support. Gives me a strong understanding that this market would surely come, take out this liquidity and actually tap into this particular support. Now, for people using fair value gap, it will also work for them. Can you see? For people using fair value gap, they will say maybe the middle of this particular candle. For anybody waiting for the middle of this particular, 50% of the fair value gap might not get tapped in, but I got tapped in because of this particular support. So probably every strategy works, whether fair value gap strategy, whether support and resistance strategy, whether time-based strategy, it works. You just have to look for what works for you. And most important, the psychology you're going to use to hold those trades. That is the most important thing. And that was what happened. The market came, tapped us in, and gave us a nice 7:1 RR. Why did I exit here? Because of this particular support. Can you see? This is why I exited here, because of this particular support. And that was how we closed that very Friday with 2 nice trades. Now, for this next Monday, we are looking at why am I looking at this level? I will explain. On the line charts, we have a QM on the 30 minutes time frame. We have a QM, and we also have a support here too. We also have a support here too. So if you go back to the candle, this is a support and this is also a resistance. Does a support become resistance? And this is a QM. Now on the 30 minutes time frame, it is a QM. And on the 15 minutes time frame, if you look at the 15 minutes time frame, it is also a QM. Correlation. Can you see? QM, QM. So that's why I labeled it here that 30 minutes time frame QM and a 15 minutes time frame QM. But on the 15 minutes time frame, if you look at, you will see that this particular QM was tapped in as a support. Resistance becomes support. He used it, but did not use it for a long time. So that's why I sticked onto the 30 minutes time frame. So QM. That's why I stick to the 30 minutes time frame QM, and my entry level is at the support on the 30 minutes time frame, and that is my next move for this particular Monday, 24th of November, Monday 2025. So thanks for watching my trade recap, guys, and I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.